So today we're asking why are we so obsessed with our roots. And to help us out, please welcome genealogist Anthony Adolph. Now you may sit. Hi, Anthony.
Hello.
Hello. Do you want to tell me where did you get the name? Is that your star name, Adolph?
It's my real name, yeah.
Right. Why'd you get interested in this, though?
Because I had a really silly surname, and you know what at school.
You wanted to know who to blame.
You're related to Hitler, are you? And at that age, of course, you don't know. I mean, if you grow up with funny names, you don't know what's going on.
Why would you be related to Hitler?
Well, I mean, obviously not. But at that age, school children, you don't really sort of think like that, do you? So that's really what got me interested. And then I started to think, well, I have got this ridiculous name, so I wanted to find out
why other people
the reason, what was going on. So I mean, I actually found out we'd been here for 130 years, and
And you had a ridiculous name for 130 years.
Yeah, and never changed it. No, I never changed it.
What's like the, give me an example. I mean, it says here, things are well documented in England because William the Conqueror
in 1066 wanted everything written down for tax reasons.
That's right. Doomsday Book.
So what do we need you for? Why don't we just go to the, the book and look it up?
Because you need to fill in that awkward little gap between then and now. That's where I come in. That's where we make our money.
You fill that awkward gap,
We try and fill it in,
yeah. Much more interesting than I thought. How do you do that?
We do it by getting hold of original records. I'll tell you what we do first. We ask the family. We ask our parents, grandparents, cousins, ask anyone you possibly can for information about what they already know about the family, because, of course, old people do tend to know quite a lot.
Or nothing at all.
Or nothing at all, yes. Well, there is that, yeah, that's the problem. But the key is not to leave it till it's too late, and just when you get the gaga answers, it's sort of, get in early.
Do you have people lose their birth certificates along the way, and so you don't always need those? You can go back to census, things like that.
Yes, exactly, yes. Because, I mean, we were talking... Should I talk about your family?
Well, wait a minute. Just let me ask you about the DNA. That fascinates me. You take a scraping... Let's say if I thought I was related to Mary, Queen of Scots.
Yeah.
You take a scraping from me.
Yeah.
Where does the scraping come from?
It comes from inside the mouth. It's not a scraping.
Inside my mouth.
Horrible, doesn't it? It's like a little toothbrush. You just rub it on the inside, and it takes a few...
Who do I go to if I want my scraping done?
You go to a DNA testing firm. I wouldn't do it, don't worry. I wouldn't dare. I'd stick to the written record.
Right, so you've got my scraping.
Yeah, I got your scraping.
Now go...
the DNA tester gets your little bit of cells from inside your cheek, and then they analyse the DNA, and obviously I don't do that. I'm not a sort of technical expert on that. What you then do is you can either do one of two things. Maybe you two thought you were related. Let's say that.
Right. No, I want to know with the dead person. Has somebody exhumed Mary Queen of Scots to get a scraping?
No, you don't. No, you couldn't do that.
You don't have to dig up the person you think you're related.
I suppose technically you could, but what actually happens is that you find another descendant of the dead person. So in other words, you'd find a descendant of Mary Queen of Scots, and then you'd compare your DNA with...
And my DNA could match
person.
Mary Queen of Scots?
Yeah,
Is there no DNA that's close?
Yeah. Basically, you're comparing the DNA of two living people. One's a proven descendant of the person you want to be descended from, and you're trying to find out if you're also descended. So if you match the proven descendant, if you match, then you are probably the descendant of that person.
There you go.
That's a beautiful story. So tell me about the importance of surnames.
Oh,
last
right.
names.
Yeah, I mean, there are different types of surname. You've got surname like mine, Adolph, which means long ago, son of someone called Adolph. I do stress long ago. Or Roberts is son of Roberts, Jones is son of... Or Collins, of course, son of Colin.
Where do you get that?
Well, you just know Collins. Well, you just know these things, If it's a Christian name... No, if it's a Christian name with an S on the end, then it's...
Because it's got an S?
Yeah,
it means
because the
it's
S is short for son of, so...
Oh, you're
so
son
if it's
of
Roberts...
Collins. Oh, that's a fantastic thing.
Yeah, so ultimately, somewhere in your ancestry
You're son of War.
Who am I son of?
War.
Yeah.
Who am I son of?
Yours actually, no, yours is second category, occupations, things like smith, butcher, or, in your case, a wax seller. Which sounds...
No, we didn't sell wax.
Originally.
No, we never did. Well, it wasn't
called
called WAX. You're wrong, Mrs. It was WACHS.
Yeah.
Because I've gone back in your history.
Oh.
But yeah, it's WACHS. You know
And that's
that.
the German for wax.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a wax seller.
So you know as a fact my people sold wax.
It's recognised. It's a Jewish surname, and it is actually recognised as a wax
who sold
seller.
candles.
Sell candles, yeah.
I'd pay you £500 to find that information.
It's worth more.
And you talk like me, Ruby.
I really did, in the Polish, wherever I came from. So what else did we do, my people?
Well, interesting. They were quite well off. There was one...
So the wax business was good?
It must have been, yeah. It must have been, yeah.
Are you interested in your family tree? I mean, I don't know what it would do for me.
It's quite interesting, especially like my family didn't come from London, they came from Wales.
Did you know that?
Did I know? I did, but I don't know any relatives that are there anymore, and so I don't know if there's anyone there.
Did you do some scratchings on her past?
Yeah, we did, yeah, we had a look.
And what did you find out?
Because we had 2 weeks for this, but of course the record's around the corner in the family record centre, so that's why we were able to...
I hid them in the Ukraine.
We found a fair amount. Basically, I'll give you... I'm not going to sort of show you all the documents now, because it might bore you, but this is the wrong document. There we are. There we go. This is one of the tools of the trade. Basically, this is how we trace people's family trees. And that's a marriage certificate. Now, Michelle, have that.
Mine?
Yeah. Now, Michelle,
How far back?
That's 1898,
1898.
isn't it? Now, Michelle, you told me you knew about your great-grandparents on your mother's side, which actually, that's good, because most people only know about grandparents and nothing else. So these are your London...
in where?
Yeah, these are your London ancestors. You have actually got one... Your direct female to... I didn't actually realise you had a daughter before, but in fact, we've got from your daughter, your mother, grandmother, that's great-grandmother. And then beyond that, we used... This is another tool of the trade. Now, this isn't an original census. Do you remember last year we filled in census returns? Did you? You should have done.
No.
Oh, dear, oh, you're in trouble, but everyone else did. And you...
For what?
That's they found out there's only 500 homeless people in London, wasn't it, that one?
They forgot to fill the forms in as well. We want, yeah. Basically, this is an index to the 1881 census. And this is something which we use a lot because censuses tell you how old someone was and where they were born. And if you're a genealogist, that's pretty much what you want to find out. So this is your family in the 1880s. This is that family there. They're the Stone family at the same address.
Did you know you were related to Stones?
Hope.
You didn't know
Me and
that?
Sharon, you know.
Oh, yes, I saw the
could be, you know.
similarity. That's amazing.
I like that name, Stone. That's quite a nice name.
It's lovely, isn't he? He was a butcher.
That's common
He was a
as common.
butcher?
A butcher. He's a butcher in London.
Right.
Yes,
Does she
in
come from a
I'm a
long line of
vegetarian.
butchers?
Don't know, because I haven't gone further back from the one butcher. But what's nice, though, is you've got... If you can see...
Are these all the occupations in my family?
Yes,
Is that what
they
that
are,
means?
yes.
Coal dealer.
Scholar, book folder, printer.
Oh, they're the
plumbers,
next door neighbours you've got there. Shall I point?
They're my next door neighbour. Oh, sorry,
show
I'm
you.
reading the wrong ones.
It's there. It's that lot there.
Of Stones were
So they're the
scholar,
Stones.
Scholar. Thank you.
Scholar. What is that, a profession?
He was at school.
Right.
Oh.
Right. Well, what did he become? Butcher?
And what you've got
What's
there
a
is...
costermonger?
Costermonger is somebody who works...
Well, what they did in East End, barrows in the streets.
barrow boy.
Yeah.
Is it much? It's much easier to do it through the mother. Do you say tracing?
No, it's actually easier to do it through the father because, of course, the name stays the same. But the interesting thing about the direct female line is that in a family tree, you look at a family tree, and it's got father, mother, and child. You're never quite sure that father really is father because, of course, mother could have been, you know, doing whatever. But with it, it's much harder. It's much harder to fake giving birth to a baby than it is fake who the father of your child
Not
is.
if you're an
So the
actress.
direct female line, yeah. The direct female line is probably the most
Find out
accurate.
who the father of your child was? That's fantastic.
Well, hopefully I know.
Oh, no, you know, no, it's what some mothers might sometimes tell.
Yes.
Did you go through the father's side then?
We didn't look at that. No,
No.
we just stuck to
Are
the
you
female
gonna
line.
make
Because it was
More?
London. Yeah, I think it'd be quite interesting because what's interesting as well is that I thought it was Wales, but then originally it goes back to London.
Yes, and then
Again.
who knows further? I mean, that goes back to beyond general registration, birth, marriages and deaths started in 1837. So then, using those census returns to find out where the people were born, you then go back to parish registers, and this is what we can do this later, you know, and you can work back sometimes into the 17th century and even the 16th century, because English records are really well preserved. Very little's happened here.
Do you think
to
you're related
destroy
to
them.
anybody well known? Do you feel something within you?
Well, I feel a connection with Phil Collins.
Right. Yeah. Thanks very much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Thanks.